Hi everyone, my name is April. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you're returning. I hope everyone is having a beautiful weekend. Happy early Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day, Mom, if you're listening. I love you. Today we are doing two super cute Dollar Tree Farmhouse Window DIYs. So I hope you enjoy. Please give the video a thumbs up if you do, and subscribe to my channel if you're interested. I would love to have you, and let's get started. What would a normal video be if we didn't come out to my garage? If you're brand new here, I have been coming out to my garage every single video. So this is where I keep all of my thrifted stuff. I have quite a bit of stuff here, which I'm so happy about, and I will be making my way through it, making things over, and then I do sell things, so that is why I have so much. I don't just hoard this stuff. I mean, I kind of do hoard this stuff, but I do make it over for videos and just for fun, and then I do sell it, donate it, give it away. I don't just keep it all. So that's why I have so much. If you heard that noise, I have a fridge out here in the garage and it just kicked off. Anyway, so this is what I'm kind of gathered together for my next video. So just to give you guys a little sneak peek. But anyway, today I just came out here to grab this for our Dollar Tree DIY. Okay, so DIY number one is our farmhouse window. I think this is so cute. And what I used was a pack of paint sticks from Home Depot, and these were only like 97 cents in the paint section, and then a hot glue gun, and then I have a thankful sign left over from fall time. I think they bring these out every year, and I always buy so many extra things at the Dollar Tree, you guys, so I always have extra. I have a couple of these left over still from fall time, and all I did was lay out my 4 sticks and then make a cross on top, and then I just hot glued them all together. Really super simple. I did make sure that my sticks went in the same direction, as you can see here, and then I just put a little bit of hot glue on the end of each one and just put them together, making sure that the edges were flush and they were nice and even. And then I began doing the middle part, the cross, and again I just hot glued them, making sure that the edges were even. I did get one of my sticks a tiny bit crooked, but I think it's still cute and just adds a little bit of character. And then I used Waverly paint in the color white. You can get this at Walmart, and so it's my favorite to use just because it's easy and cheap, and I think it works really nice. And then I'm adding the shelf here after everything is dry. I just added a little dab of hot glue, and I found this on Pinterest. I wish I could find the Pinterest page. I would have showed it to you so I could give the person credit, but I did see this on Pinterest a while back, and these are some really beautiful Arteza paints that they recently sent me, which I will be using. These are so pretty. They are like pearl colors, and there's some gold and rust colors, which I'm excited to try out. But I just used a little bit of the space gray and the pearl white just to add a little bit of paint distressing, or wet distressing. Not wet distressing, that's not what it's called. But anyway, you can see what I'm doing. I'm just adding a little bit of paint all around just to give a little detail. And this is craft chicken wire that I got at Hobby Lobby that I used in my last project, which I'll link below if you're interested, and up above. I made a cute garden chair and used chicken wire. So I just used my Dollar Tree wire cutters, cut a little square, and then hot glued it on the back. And this is how it turned out. I think it's so cute, you guys. I am in love with this, and there's so many different things that you could do with the little shelf. I decided to use some raffia that I had from Dollar Tree from fall as well, and some of their little pots, and I just kind of cut up the raffia, and then, or raffia, I'm not sure how to say it, And then I put the little pots down inside, and I have some lavender from Walmart, and I just cut it up and stuck it down in there, and that was it. And I think this is so adorable. You guys will have to let me know what you think. Would you make something like this? Do you have all the supplies? Do any of you buy multiple things at Dollar Tree like I do and have tons of leftover? I'm sure some of you do. I know some of you do because you've told me before that you are obsessed with Dollar Tree just like I am, and you can't just walk in there and walk out with one item. I could easily walk in there and spend $50. It's a little crazy. DIY number 2 is our Cathedral Window, and I'm just showing you some that I found online from Hobby Lobby, and then this one is from Kirkland's, and then I also found one on Wayfair's website, and oh my gosh, they are so expensive. So I'm going to make one using Dollar Tree supplies. I'm just using a piece of foam board and then a piece of I don't know what you call it, like the cardboard type paper. And then I found this, I think this is from Kirkland's website, but it's just a really simple design and one that I knew that I could just hand draw. So that's what I used. I just set my phone down beside me so I could glance at it for reference. And the first thing that you'll need to do is cut out your thinner piece just so that it's the same size as your foam board. And so I did that, and then I had, you know, an even piece the same size as my foam board. What we're going to do is create a template. And so the first thing that you'll do is fold your top piece in half, and then here I'm showing you again, just for reference, the design that I'm going to be drawing, and everything will be even on both sides because we're folding it in half, and so it will mirror, you know, what we create on one side. Once we unfold it, will be the exact same on both sides. So I'm just kind of hand drawing, and I know that you guys can do this. Just use a pencil, and then if you mess up, that's okay. Just keep going over and making new lines until you get one that you're happy with, and then you can draw the one that you're happy with, you know, darker so you can tell where to cut. And I'm just looking back at my phone for reference and just drawing this simple design. So I know that you guys can do this too if you give it a try. It's really easy. And then I just began cutting. Now it looks like it cuts really super easy on video, but it was a little bit hard to cut, but definitely doable, and I would totally recommend this DIY. I've seen several of these on YouTube, which I didn't find until I was looking up how to do this, and so I've seen lots of really neat versions of this, and you can find them on YouTube as well. If you just search Cathedral Window, I think, or Farmhouse Window, they'll come up, and there's different ideas for you if you want to do a different design than what I'm doing, but I just think this one is really simple, and so that is why I chose this one. And so once we have everything all cut out, we're going to unfold it, and then I'm using some painter's tape, which you can also get at Dollar Tree, and just taping it down so that when I draw on the foam board, it's not moving around. So you want to make sure that your bottom edge is lined up and both of your sides are lined up nicely. And then we're just going to trace around the design on the inside of it. And once we have done that, we will remove our template. And then I have a hobby kit from Arteza that I love, but you can use a box cutter or whatever you want to use. This is just an Exacto knife, and we're going to cut out our design. Now you want to make sure to take your time and go slow, because it would be better for it to take longer than for you to, you know, accidentally mess it up and ruin your foam board. But if you take your time and go slow, this is really easy. And I just kind of do sawing motions up and down, and this whole thing literally just took me a few minutes to make. It doesn't take long at all. Okay, you guys, this is how it turned out. I am so happy with it. I think it looks so good. I'll try to give you a close-up so you can see kind of what the edges look like. I mean, not bad at all. See, it's kind of rough right there. But if you just take your time, I would say this whole thing took me about 20 minutes to make. Not very much time at all, but you do have to kind of take your time. You really don't want to risk cutting, you know, cutting at the wrong angle and messing up your whole design. But honestly, it wasn't that hard at all. Just take your time and go slow. That would be my biggest tip on this. And look, it's so cool. So now I'm just gonna take a little bit of sandpaper and just go around the edges to try to smooth them out a little bit. And then we will paint it. This is the sandpaper that I'm using. I think it's 100 grit, and this kind of sands just like wood. It just creates like a powdery substance, just kind of like sawdust. And then once you sand off all of the edges, it really does look just like a thin piece of wood. Looks just kind of like thin wood. So now I'm going to go ahead and put some white paint on both sides, and the reason for that is because I have worked with foam board before and found that if you don't paint both sides, it can tend to warp. So you do want to do both sides, in my opinion. That's been my experience. So I'm just going to start out by putting some paint on both sides, and then we will kind of decide how we want to paint it from there. I'm using my Waverly chalk paint again, and just a little cheap paintbrush from Walmart. You can also get them at Home Depot and the Dollar Tree. And then I'm using Waverly antique wax and folk art in the color cinnamon, I think it was, and just mixing the two colors together. But you could use gray, you could use any brown, just to give it kind of a wood look and kind of a distressed look, to give it a little bit of a rustic feel to it. You could also paint this brown. I've seen these brown and I think they're really cute. I thought about painting it brown just to show you this version and then the brown version in case someone might like brown better, but this is how it turned out. I think it turned out really pretty. And then I took a little wreath and a piece of jute string, and I really need my hair cut, you guys. I have this undercut in the back and it's getting out of control. I can't wait until the hair salons open back up. But anyway, and then I just kind of decorated it and set some florals around in a little galvanized bucket from my garage, and some farmhouse beads that I've made in a previous video. That's a little Dollar Tree candle that I love. It looks kind of like milk glass. And that's how it turned out. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful weekend. Thank you so much for all of the love on my community post with the picture of my mom. Thank you for the prayers. She is going in for surgery and she's really nervous, but I know that she'll do great. I'll be on vacation that week, so I'll be with her once she's out of the hospital. And I love you guys. I'm just going to share a little bit of me planting my garden, and then in my next video I will share some more. When I also have some really fun collabs coming up in the month of May, so stay tuned. I'm super excited. And that's it. I love you guys. Take care. Bye. For those of you that are still here and interested in my garden, thank you. I am just showing you here how I just did a little bit. I have a lot of work to do still in this garden. It's a big, huge space. It's way bigger than it was last year because it used to be like 1/3 filled with blackberry bushes, but those have all been cleared out. I'm a little sad, actually. I didn't want them all cleared out, but here I am just making rows for corn and sunflowers, and then in the back row right there I'm going to plant sunflowers, and then in that raised bed next to the rows I'm going to plant zinnia flowers. I love those. I think they're so pretty, and they cut, you know, you can cut them for fresh flowers all year. This is some corn, and I'm also going to plant some from seeds. This is just corn from Walmart, and then I got these little stakes and just to mark where my rows are. And then I planted some tomatoes, and this is the pile of where the blackberries were. Last year I grew pumpkins in here, and they took over that whole half of the garden. There's my little cat. She hung out with us. My mom is the one filming, so it's a little choppy, but she did a really good job. Here I am just digging holes to plant my tomatoes, and I'm growing beefsteak and cherry tomatoes, and then some cucumbers, and I also have buckets and pots that I'm growing in too, and then I have a raised bed, like above ground raised bed next to my house, and then I have 3 big raised beds, which I showed right in the beginning shot, that we've had for a few years that my husband built me, and I'll grow zinnia in those again this year. These are the tomato plants, and yes, I garden in my sandals. I have to wash my feet every time I come in. I am in sandals 24/7 in the summer. No matter where I am, I'm always wearing sandals. But here I'm planting my tomato plants, and then I found a little plant growing. I don't know what that is. It might be a pumpkin or something from last year, but I don't think pumpkins come up again every year, so I don't know what that is, or it's a squash, but I know it's definitely from last year. Also, if you guys have Instagram, you can follow me over at April Adair Shares DIY. I would love to see your garden pictures, or if you're growing in a pot, I think it would be really fun to kind of share with each other. If you have any tips for me, please let me know. I am definitely not an expert at any of this. Here I'm just planting my corn, and then I'm also going to grow sunflowers like I said. And that's basically it, you guys. I'm just getting started. I'm working this weekend. I'm getting ready to go out right now. I'm going to plant a bunch of seeds. This is just a beautiful flower. It's a perennial, so it'll come up next year. I thought it was really pretty. Here's my little kitty, and I will see you next time, you guys. I love you. Bye.